Summer's coming to an end. The last official weekend of summer. That's for you up north people. If you live in Daytona Beach, it's summer year-round. Yep, that's how it is. I'm kidding. All right, so today we're going to try to dig into your head a little bit with a story of why asking permission is silly. I will take you in the cockpit of life, a story of a friend of mine and me in an airplane and air traffic control, all teaching me this lesson years and years ago, and I use it every single day in my life, constantly. Most successful people do. It is a daily boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day. We get out of bed, life begins when we move. Whoop, we trip and fumble and stall. Oh, gosh, life got in the way. What am I going to do? Well, we stand up, we take a step, we repeat, and we get what we want. That's how it is. How many times do you have to get up? One more time than the other guy. That's it. Just keep getting up. That's the difference between me and you. Well, not. Man, that sounds bad. Well, me and some of you are way more successful than I am. You get out of bed more than I do. Sometimes I sleep in. But that's the difference between successful people and those who don't get what they want. And I don't really like the word success. It's hard to define it, and yet everybody kind of gets their own version of it, so I use the word. But the difference is really this. Yes, you get up. How are you? My name is Scott Smith, founder, chief motivating officer here at motivationtomove.com. Read the website. Still have a few things to go over there to do it. You guys are showing up. I appreciate it. That's the stuff there for you to check out, motivationtomove.com. Asking permission. It's silly, rabbit. Don't ask for permission. You don't need to. That's what we're talking about today. But first, a word. My friend Sid called me one day. He had found something new to do. He was excited. We were good friends. We used to ride motorcycles together and have a lot. I had fun that I actually can't talk about all the stuff. It wasn't really bad, but it was on the edgy side. It was more thrill-seeking side. Stuff you don't tell your wife about, and therefore I'm not going to tell you because it'll get back to her, okay? But it was kind of fun. Anyway, he decided to take flying lessons, and he couldn't wait to get started. It's crazy. Now, I was interested too when I heard it because I wanted to learn to fly after hearing about my mom's stories over the years. Her father was a contractor up in Wilmington, North Carolina, and he traded some services to an airport client who couldn't pay the bill, and the client offered lessons. So my mom was flying and she was 15 years old. It was crazy. So I always wanted to do that. Her stories of landing on the beaches way before a woman, we're talking a long time ago, right? She's a teenager, 15. Way before a woman routinely would do that stuff. These days, heck, I was taught by most female instructors. They're all over the place. It's awesome. Flying solo before an arriving hurricane was her goal, and it was an idea that got her excited. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've seen the newspaper pictures about this that she had because she was so young, youngest person ever to fly solo. I'm not sure it was legal, but it was in the newspaper. Now, okay, if you're a crook, if you break the law, you probably shouldn't be in the newspaper. I'm saying. But I never told my mom she shouldn't do that. She had a goal. She was flying. 3 days short of being legally old enough, according to her own terms, her own story. But my mom is very adventuresome. She's a spirit that you got to hang on to. She's 91 years old. She's a whole lot like me. In fact, I'm more like her than I would like to admit, but I really am. The hurricane was coming. And she decided she was not going to ask for permission from her mom or her dad or just about anybody else. As long as the instructor was willing to let her go and sign her off on it, she'd go. It's up to him anyway, right? Because ultimately that's how it works. Yeah, the instructor is the one who signs off. It's his neck on the line, and I don't know who this guy was, but he did it. She took command, became the pilot in command, put her in the record books. And I have the log here of it. I have the logbook right in front of me, actually, right now. Keep it nearby. So when my friend Sid called and reminded me of all the stories I'd heard before, I said, it was time to do it. I made that phone call and I began flying 50 years later. Now things are more controlled 50 years later. And speaking on the radio to air traffic control was required. You couldn't just jump up and fly. It's challenging too. It's really hard. If you ever heard air traffic communications, it's very difficult to understand. It takes time to learn to hear that fast talk and chatter. I was nervous. I was always asking for permission. It seemed like I always had to ask. It seemed like it was such a structured environment. The world's greatest system is the aviation system in this world and certainly this country. But it seems so strict, and those people in the air traffic control towers and all the pilots are always so serious and asking, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Can I do that? So I learned to ask for permission for just about everything, unlike my mom, who didn't ask for permission. She just went and did it. I said, this is Cessna 62567 requesting permission to. One day, I put my best pilot voice on. This is Cessna 62567 requesting permission to. Waiting for the response. My instructor taught me a lesson I could and should have learned from my mom, but most of the lessons your mom teaches you, you don't learn. You don't learn them until later on. Moms have this secret super duper power. They teach you a lesson that you don't really get at the time. They wedge it down in you and they put like a time release capsule on it. So they put the lesson in you and you don't learn it at all. Then pow, 5 years, 10 years later, you get it. My instructor said, you are the PIC. Aviation language, that means you are the pilot in command. See that seat you're sitting in? It's moving. It's going up and down. It's 3,000 feet in the air. Theirs isn't. They're sitting in that comfy little tower down there. Their seat isn't moving. They just have a headset on, a cup of coffee. They're talking to you, telling you what to do. You're flying the airplane. You're in charge of them. And you are, actually. In an emergency, always. You don't ask for permission. Tell them what you want. Let them work it out. I said, what do you mean tell them what I want? Let them work it out. You don't have to ask for permission. Anyone's permission to do what you want to do. Tell people what you want, get on with it, and let them work it out. I never asked again in flying or just about anything else. I never wanted to be a place, and that doesn't mean I don't ask people questions, and if they can help me with something, I do that, but I never, ever, ever allow them to block me or put me off or make me go around. If I do, I wake up really, really fast. I decide what I want. Do it. You decide what you want. Do it. That's it. If somebody else needs to know what I'm up to, I'll tell them. I'll work out the solution. I'll keep moving. I'll work it out. If not, I keep moving. I work it out. Same thing with you. This past weekend, after being gone for a week, I came back home and I was, I normally just park it for 2 or 3 days. And I do that a lot during the course of the week. I take a lot of time to myself just to think, but something was on my mind. I had a lot going on and I stopped and I said, I wait till Monday morning. I talk to a few people and see what I can do. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I just started doing it, sent a few emails and said, this is what's happening. By the time I get in Monday morning, they're already on board following me. Why wait? Why wait for what you want? Why would you do that? I know some things seem like you can't move forward. In fact, some things actually cause you not to be able to move forward. But very few. Very few. There's always a way around to get what you want. Sometimes it's just going straight through. Going dark. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Some days it feels like we need permission from everybody else to get what we want. Don't fall into that trap. If anything, remember that today. Your destiny is your choice and yours alone. And what happened to my friend Sid? He moved away. Never even took a flight. He did ask his wife for permission. That's why he didn't take the flight. Never took a single lesson. I didn't ask my wife. I told her what I was going to be doing, and before she could do anything about it, I was flying. The sad part is, with you live in Scott World, that also applied to about 6 motorcycles, a couple of motorhomes, a couple of houses. She didn't ask for permission to have an alpaca farm. She just told me she was going to do it. So there, we're even. Anything I've ever done is not as bad as my wife not asking for permission to have an alpaca farm. It was fun. I was happy to have done it, but man, I'm glad it's done. All right. Tomorrow. Time to go dark, baby. Time to go dark, dude. I don't use those words anymore. I'm not really sure. If not, edit them out for me, okay? This is old school. Tomorrow, disappear yourself and going dark. I'll see you at dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook and motivationtomove.com as well. Come see me.